And so we did that experience, and then we got to the evening, and then we were like, I was trying my best to figure out a good way to introduce them to Tokyo and Japanese nightlife and just drinking culture here and stuff like that. And I was thinking, maybe in izakaya would be like good and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
And Sydney was like, no.
Oh god.
Let's not do that. Sydney's like, let's go to a girls' bar.
Oh my god.
because it's Sydney.
Why does she want to go to a girls' bar?
Because it's Sydney. I know
Sydney probably walked in and was like, don't worry, they know me.
Sydney genuinely enjoys going to girls' bars. And so one of the first places...
Because she just wants to talk, right?
Yeah.
She just wants to talk Japanese.
One of the first places we go. So it's me, Sydney, her parents, and her uncle and auntie, right? So she goes up to one of these girls who is promoting like a random girls bar or something like that. And she goes, oh, can we have do you have space for 6? And the girl goes, yeah. And then Sydney calls over her family, and just the realization in the girl's face where she realizes the customer base that she's bringing in is so far removed from the customer base she is used to. Like a group of American tourists, not even young American tourists.
Just like a
family.
The girl's probably like, you do realize what you're about to go into, right? Like, this isn't a diner.
We don't do that here.
Yeah, we don't do that here. And so we go in, and it's a very small girls' bar. So there's not really like any tables there. Sure. There's one like L-shaped counter, and that's kind of it. So I'm like, okay, Sydney, you take that side, and I'll take the other side, just so there's always someone who can kind of speak Japanese on either side in case the girls want to like get friendly and talk to the family members and stuff like that. And so I sit next to Sydney's mum, and Sydney sits on the complete opposite side of the bar. And so the girls come over and they start talking and explaining the system of this bar, which Sydney's parents and family were just like, what kind of service do they offer here? I don't really understand, because they came over and they were like, so it's $30 per hour. And you can order all of these drinks from the menu. So in a typical girls' bar, you kind of pay for the company.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, the drinks are just kind of included to keep you there.
You pay to talk to girls, basically.
Yeah, you basically... I was trying to find the best frame of reference to explain what a girls' bar is to Sydney's family, because they were like as fish out of water as you can get.
Yeah, they were probably just expecting a bar.
It's like Hooters, except you don't pay for the drink, you pay for the time you're at Hooters.
Yes.
Yeah, so the way I explained it was, okay, stick with me for a second. So you know how in America they have strip clubs, right? I was like,
this is like a terrible route to go down trying to explain.
That was the first thing that came to mind.
Oh my God.
I did not think of Hooters. Fuck, I should have said Hooters.
It's like strip club, but without the stripping.
Yeah, so imagine strip clubs. You have strip clubs in there, and I was like, stick with me for a second. So it's kind of like strip clubs, but instead of paying for girls to strip, you pay for girls to converse with you.
Yeah.
And so the girls are incentivized to be very, very friendly to the customer base and converse with you.
Yeah.
And so that's what I explained before going in. And even explaining that, I don't think especially my mother-in-law was prepared for, let's say, how energetic and in character the girls were going to be.
Right.
POV, you're Sid's mum. You're used to like very local, friendly Midwestern bars and stuff like that. And you come in and there's a cute Japanese girl going like,
Was it like a themed one, or was it just like a bog standard? Like
it was a themed one. It was like a kind of like a. I think they were in like Chinese dresses and stuff like that. I'm not sure what the exact theme was.
But like in cheapos and stuff?
Yeah. But I've been to like plenty of girls' bars because of Sydney, I should say. Probably like the only like girlfriend that actually drags their partner to girls' bars.
Yeah.
But some girls' bars can be... some girls' bars, you can tell, they're just there for the costume.
Yes. Yeah.
And some girls' bars, they're there and they're actually like really enjoying their job and in character and stuff like that. This was the latter one. So it was like a
that's
very,
good.
very energetic girls bar. So the first thing that happens is I sit next Sydney takes one side, I take the other. One of the girls comes over and she asks she asks if my mother-in-law is my girlfriend.
Oh.
Because that's
I bet Sydney's mom was flattered by that.
I just like no. This is my mom. This is my mom. Please, this is my mom. She's like, oh, Carson, and I was like, I had to like go. I didn't know the exact word for mother-in-law.
Yeah.
But just they kept calling Sydney's mom Bijin.
Beautiful.
Which is just like the Japanese word for like beautiful woman,
Yeah.
right? And I think they complimented Sydney's mum more than they complimented Sydney, which is
Did Sydney like that, or was Sydney happy about that? Or?
Sydney couldn't hear it, but I was telling Sydney like halfway through. They're like really like your mum. Like
They're simping over your mom.
they kind of like all the girls here are kind of like simping over your mum, man. I'm not gonna lie.
That's so funny. Did Sydney's mom enjoy it?
Oh, she enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah, I bet.
Honestly, fucking amazing experience.
Yeah.
They like this. Sydney took a massive 50-50 in like
I would have said a
introducing.
90-10.
Yeah, it was a 90-10.
Okay.
I would have said a bit more than that.
It was very much a 90-10 kind of experience on whether they would have hated it or whether they would have like really, really liked the experience. But one thing I realized is that if you have the right girls bar, which is a toss-up because
It's hard to find.
It's hard to find because girls bars can be completely different vibes depending on what kind of bar you go to.
Yep.
These girls clearly enjoyed their job and clearly just wanted to set a good vibe. I felt bad because we walk in and the only other person in there was this like old Japanese businessman.
That's how they always are.
That's how they always are. And you can see his face you can see his face where a bunch of like American tourists comes in and he's obviously like a regular there.
And now all the girls are going towards this.
And all the girls are now simping towards Sydney's mom, and he's just like, great. But
That's awesome.
But yeah, like they were very like iffy about it going in, seeing the kind of vibe and seeing like, oh, what kind of place has Sydney dragged me into? But if you find the right girls bar, they are so good at setting like a good vibe and setting like a friendly vibe.
Yeah.
That's. You know, it's just a really fun time, honestly. And Sydney's mum had a great time. I was telling her all of the compliments that all the maids were saying to her. Sydney, like, now is so acclimated to girls' bar. She walks in like a fucking mafia boss. She sits down. She knows how things work. She knows exactly what to say to get like the good treatment.
Right.
And we come out and actually one of Sydney's uncles comes up to me and he goes, you know what? Probably a good thing I don't live in Japan because I would spend way too much money in bars like that, man. And I was like, oh no. No.
Oh yeah, did you tell them they could tip?
Sorry?
They can kind of tip in those bars. You can buy the girls' drinks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's how you tip.
Yeah.
So I told them that. Sydney did all the tipping. She
She was like, whatever you guys want, buy a drink.
Sydney
Keep complimenting my mom.
I remember I was in one of those bars one time and I was with a friend there and the girl was very persistent when I was like, I was like, oh yeah, get a drink. And then she was like, Dom Perignon. And I was like, no. What? I'm like, how much is that? She said $2,000. I'm like, no. And then I was like, just pick another drink. She's like, how about this other Dom Perignon? I was like, no. What?
Yeah, and so I was explaining to my mother-in-law.
So be careful.
Yeah, so I explained to Sydney's mum and her aunt that, you know, there's like the opposite of girls' bars as well. There's like host clubs and host bars as well. And as soon as I said that, after the girls' bar experience, they were like, tell me more.
Wait, who, the mom or the dad?
The mum and the aunt. They're like, tell me more about this experience.
There's two types for guys. There's hosts and then there's just guy snack bars.
Yes.
Where it's basically girls' bars. They just talk to you and then maybe they compliment you and stuff.
Yeah.
And then hosts are more like,
Hosts are like the one-on-one.
I'm here to flirt with you, make you
Yeah.
fall in love with me, and I'm gonna like string you on as long as you keep buying drinks.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's like they like guy snack bars do exist, and they're pretty common as well.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's the same with the girls side as well. There's girls bars and then there's kabakuras.
Oh, that's right.
Like
Kabakura,
kabakuras are like host clubs where it's like the girls are there to like sit with
Yeah,
you
yeah.
and to like make you fall in love with them, so you keep
Yeah.
buying
Yeah.
them drinks. Yeah,
Yeah, because I honestly think if you want to like learn to practice your Japanese, girls bars are like honestly a great fucking place.
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
Honestly, you can also go to a place like Golden Guy as well, where you normally have very talkative
Talk to the
servers.
bartenders.
Why pay $50 an hour for a private lesson when you pay $30 and free alcohol?
Yeah, you can drink all you want. It's free alcohol. Well, it's not free alcohol. It's $30 for all.
That's
you
a
can
dangerous
drink.
mindset. to go into.
hey, if it's $30 for an hour, it's free. Bro. It's free. I can get through way more alcohol than that.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah, and it's nothing. Most of the time, nothing sleazy about it. You're just paying for company, and they
It's
are.
the mindset. If
It's-
you
it's the
walk in
mindset.
feeling sleazy, it's gonna feel sleazy.
Yeah,
If you go
yeah,
in and you're like,
exactly.
I'm just gonna hang out, support a local business,
Yeah.
learn Japanese, not sleazy.
Yeah, 'cause-
Establish a platonic relationship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
a healthy, parasocial relationship.
yeah, because talking to some of the girls there, and Sydney has talked to a lot of girls who has worked at different girls bars as well, and a lot of the girls honestly work there just because it's like a release for them. Because a lot of the times they're like really, really extroverted, and it's just the perfect job for them just to be able to like socialize
Yeah.
and just let loose in Japan, which can sometimes be really, really hard in a lot of different like jobs and different
Oh, for
social
sure,
situations
yeah.
as well. So a lot of the times, if you find the right girls bars, they want to talk to you as much as you are looking for conversation as well. They genuinely enjoy their job, and there's something just nice about seeing someone who just genuinely enjoys what they do,
Yeah.
and are just happy to do what they do. And
100%.
so that was like day one. They packed in pretty
That was
early.
day one?
That was day one.
How long are they here for?
They're here for a week. So
Okay. That's going to be the
it's not
most
very long.
eventful week of their
Huh?
life.
It's not a very long time to be
it's not a
here.
very long time.
But I mean, if that was all one day,
that was
then the week is going to be fucking.
yeah.
like,
The only reason
filled.
we didn't go on for longer because I did want to introduce them to like karaoke and other more traditional Japanese bars maybe. Kind of went in on the
Hey,
deep
there's
end.
nothing more traditional than a girls' bar.
That's true.
That's the most traditional as it
Yeah.
gets.
Honestly, how last time went, I wouldn't be surprised if they asked to go to more girls' bars, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Good vibes, but that was day one. We packed it in early because they were jet lagged and everything like that. But honestly, for like the first day of traveling from America, I thought I wouldn't have anything to say coming in to like this podcast because I was like, I'll talk about it when the trip's over, and I'm like, fucking hell, so
Probably
much
more stories in a week or two.
Yeah,
so
right.
much has happened in just one day.
I'm glad they're having a good time at least.
I think honestly, Sydney's kind of like a BAMF for just being so fearless and just being like, nope, mum, dad, you're just gonna come here, and I'm not gonna try and ease you into it. I'm just gonna throw you at the deep end because
Oh my
this is what
God.
I want to do.
I'll see if
Yeah.
my parents like it. I feel they might not have the same reaction.
Yeah, you should be like, Mom, Dad, have you heard of a girls' bar? Let's go.
I can't even imagine what that'll be like.